Okay, great. So there's just a few more, and then we're actually going to get into teaching you how to read the notes off of the bar lines and what the notes are. We're going to teaching you we'll start teaching you songs after that as well. Okay, so 16th notes. These are equal to 1/4 of one beat. Okay, so if you split a beat up into 4 parts, a 16th note is only worth one part of those 4 parts. A little confusing. We'll explain it. Think about this. An 8th note is worth half of a beat. And it's there's 2 8th notes, which equals a quarter note. So an 8th note is worth half the value of a quarter note. A 16th note is worth half the value of an 8th note. Okay, so 1/4 of one beat. All right, we'll explain that here in a minute. Now, the way you recognize them, they have 2 flags at the top instead of just 1, like an 8th note has. Okay, so it's filled in, but it has 2 flags at the top instead of just 1, like an 8th note has. Now we count 16th notes by saying 1E and A. 1E and A, 2E and A, 3E and A, 4E and A. Basically what we're doing, we're taking one beat, a beat of 1, and we're splitting it up into 4. Okay? But with the 8th notes, how we count 1 and 2 and. Okay? What we're doing here is we're putting notes in between 1 and. We're doing 1E and A. 1E and A. 2E and A. Okay, so let you hear it. This is what it would sound like. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and okay? Now bear in mind, 8th notes are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16th notes are a lot faster. They're like machine gun notes. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and they're really, really fast. And of course, what really helps is just hearing it. Hopefully this little bit of playing here is helping you. But really listen to the audio tracks and practice with the exercise songs at the end of this lesson. That'll really help you out a lot. Okay? And of course, if you look at the actual study info, it'll help you too. If you can visualize it, 1E, the plus sign, which equals and, 1E and A, 2E and A. Okay, that's how they work. We'll explain more about those in our exercise songs when we get to practice those. It'll really help you out a lot to listen and play with those. Dotted 8th. Now let's go over a couple more dotted 8th notes. Okay, and this is the last dotted one here that we're going to learn. So you won't have to worry about learning any more of those. An 8th note is half a beat, as we've already learned. So 50% more of an 8th note multiplied times 1.5, it equals 3/4 of a beat, 3/4 of a beat. Okay, so you would count 1E and A. You'd let up on the A. Okay. 1E and A, 2E and A. Okay, you're not holding it for the A because it's only 3/4 of the beat. One beat is made up of 4 parts: the 1, the E, the and the A. Okay, a beat is made up of 4 parts. Let me say that again. The 1 is the first part, the E is the second part, the and is the third part, and the A is the fourth part. When you split it up into 4 different pieces. Okay, the dotted 8th note is going to take up 3 of those 4 pieces. 1, E, and. But it's not taking up the fourth part of the A. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? Alright, so of course remember 1E and A, that just equals 1 beat. You're basically just splitting 1 beat up into 4. 1 and also equals 1 beat. You're just splitting it up into 2. Okay? And then of course 1 just equals 1 beat. You're splitting it up into 1. Now how you're, depending on the song, you may count 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you may count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or you may count 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and. That's all the same thing. The only difference is you're taking the note as a whole, the beat as a whole, you're taking the beat as halves, and you're taking the beat as quarters, or 4 different parts. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Once again, hearing this in action is the key. And we have one more special one for you, triplets. Triplets, we've just explained to you a quarter note can be split up into 4 parts. It can also be split up into 3 parts, and that's what a triplet does. Okay, you hear this a lot in jazz style music. The way we count is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Remember to say the plus as an and, 1 and Okay, you'll recognize the triplets because they'll look like 8th notes usually, but they'll have a 3 above those 3 notes. Okay, and here's how they sound: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So instead of splitting the note up into 4 parts, you're splitting it up into 3. And once again, hearing this and getting to practice it with the exercise songs to follow will really help you out. Alright, so God bless. Hope you've enjoyed this short little lesson on rhythmic notes and time signatures. And if you have any questions, contact me. We'll see you back here for lesson 2 to actually start learning the notes. God bless.